For a good chunk of the March for Life, I've been on live with EWTN. That's the Eternal Word Television Network, Catholic network out of Alabama. My co-host for that has been Kathleen Dunn, and wanted to bring her on because I'm a journalist that talks about being pro-life, and I'm proud to do that. But Kathleen is actually in the trenches day in and day out, and that's what I wanted to ask you about. You're with the National Campus Life Network, so on The Rebel we have, and on Sun News before that, we've covered the problems that some in your network have experienced with pro-life clubs being thrown out, being shut down, denied access, people arrested. That's one part of it. Let's talk about what you actually do with National Campus Life Network to move the pro-life message forward in one of the more hostile environments in Canada.
Yeah. So yes, as Brian said, I work for National Campus Life Network, NCLN, and I'm our director of digital media and promotion. So I do a lot of our behind-the-scenes work, but I also get the opportunity to be on campus with these students and see what they're facing. And a big part of our mission is encouraging students to have one-on-one conversations. So first of all, we train them in pro-life apologetics, teaching them how to speak the truth and speak the truth with love, and how to combat and articulate against the common myths about abortion that are roaming around university campuses. And so with that confidence and with that training, they're able to go forward and have these one-on-one conversations. And big campaigns and like pictures and things are good, but we know that the real conversion happens in those face-to-face conversations, which you don't need permission from a student union to have. You don't need permission from your university to go forth and just stand on a university corner and say, hey, what do you think about abortion, and start a conversation from there. So anyone who's listening to this, something that you can do as well is just really, read about, how to articulate the message, but just go out there and try it and get to know people, create relationships with them, and in that way you can show that you truly care about them and who they are, because it's not just about winning arguments, it's about really like showing people that you want better for them. If they are in the dark about abortion, bring them to the light because they deserve to know the truth.
Well, let's talk about some of the myths that are prevalent on campus, in the wider culture as well, but one of them is it's not really a baby, it's a blob, it's just tissues. I love the message that John Van Maren from the Canadian Centre for Bioethical Reform gave to me yesterday. He said, nobody says, when somebody says, I'm expecting, nobody says, oh, what are you expecting? Everyone knows it's a baby.
Yeah, oh, it's so true. And so I think the most, impactful thing that we do on campus is when we ask people what they think about abortion, they're, well, it's not a big deal. It's a clump of cells or a blob of tissue. But when we just easily tell them about preborn biology, they're like, whoa, I had no idea that the heart was beating so early, and they're just mind blown because it's not known in our culture. It's not talked about what's happening in the
heart's beating. How young?
5 weeks.
Five weeks. There's a heartbeat.
The baby growth, we all grow at different times, but around 5 weeks, the baby's heart is beginning to beat, and so we know that that's incredible, and abortions are happening beyond that point, and so we know that. We know life begins at conception, but that heartbeat is so real for people to say, that is a life. We know that heartbeat really means for all of us life. So when we tell people that abortions are happening to a being that has a heartbeat, they're like, whoa, I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. I didn't realize what was going on in the womb.
So do you think that it's that people just haven't thought about it, or do you think that it is people absorbing what is essentially purposeful misinformation from the pro-abortion side?
Yeah, it's so much misinformation, and on university campuses, so many teachers and professors are promoting this culture of death and talking about the preborn and women's rights in a way that is so anti-life. And so university campuses need to hear the truth to combat what the professors are saying, and the university culture is so against the pro-life message. And so when a student comes up in a class and says, actually, I disagree with that, I think that life in the womb deserves human rights, it's like, whoa, this is against everything I've heard before. So we need those people to speak up and to educate other people in the classroom and start the debate in the classroom.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, universities are supposed to be where people go and discuss ideas freely, and it's supposed to be open, and it's one of the most closed-minded places in the country.
I know. They're supposed to be engines of starting opinions and sharing your thoughts on things and growing and learning and trying, new inventions of things, but pro-life messages shut down. If that's your opinion, you don't get to talk. We get to hear from the other side about things. So it's ridiculous and unfair in a place that's supposed to be a cultural engine of new ideas and fresh opinions and debate and discussion, but when we want to bring up the discussion of abortion, it's not listened to.
What should someone do if they're on a university campus, heading to university campus in the fall, they want to find out about pro-life clubs or start one? What can National Campus Life Network do?
Okay, so go to ncln.ca or find National Campus Life Network on Facebook, and you can find your campus coordinator. So we have coordinators in the West, Central, and some volunteers in the Maritimes to help you either start a pro-life club on your campus. We'll give you how-to manuals and like personal one-on-one discussion on how to get that going on your campus, and we'll walk right beside you through the whole process, helping you bring more people into the club and how to promote and recruit, and also give you campaigns and different activities you can do on your campus. So it doesn't have to be just you. We're there beside you. We give you the materials and the resources and the training that you need to face your campus culture.
All right, Kathleen, it's been a pleasure being with you all day with EWTN. Thank you for joining me here. It's winding down here now, but thanks so much.
Thanks, Brian.